The food that Indians brought to the UK market is vast and varied and is now quite literally its own cuisine. My parents emigrated to the UK from East Africa before settling in Canada, and many of my family members still call London home. For me, London is my second home, and today I'll show you the best of British Indian cuisine. My Tikka Masala produces wonderfully juicy chicken every time, and the sauce evokes all sorts of comfort. Funny or not, the shepherd's pie of my childhood was always doctored up with Indian spices. This English comfort food becomes something really special with garam masala, toasted coconut, and bright green chutney. Nothing is better than fresh baked bread, and in my opinion, few breads are better than a warm and chewy naan. When cultures come together, one of the best outcomes is the food. Let me show you with my take on British Indian cuisine. When the British colonized India, they brought back with them a boatload of spices, condiments, and what really has now become British Indian cuisine. And one of the most famous dishes to ever come out of that entire thing is Chicken Tikka Masala. First of all, we gotta marinate our chicken. So we're gonna start with the marinade, bowl in the middle, and some plain yogurt. And the yogurt will help break down the chicken and tenderize it, which is great. Then we're gonna put in some salt, just kind of eyeball it. Then we gotta put in some chili powder. There we go. Then let's grate in some garlic and ginger. Like that. Put that on the side. Lean in here and crack some cloves of garlic. Let's do 3, 4, 5 of them. I'm gonna save this garlic because we're gonna use it to put in our sauce. And then all we need to do is just grate it in. Now let's give this a mix up. Now let's get some spices into this. Let's add some cumin seeds, some ground coriander seeds, some turmeric, and some red chili flakes. Now let's finish mixing this up. So let's set this off to the side, move this stuff over, and let's get ready to start pounding our chicken. So I have a board here, a separate board that I've lined with some plastic wrap, and I'm gonna put 2 chicken breast right on it. I'm gonna lay another piece of plastic wrap right on the top. And I'm gonna grab a rolling pin and you're gonna evenly pound. Do this one. There we go. So that's pretty even. And then what we're gonna do is take the chicken off this plastic wrap. Try to keep it as one piece and straight into the marinade. Now this is when you want to get dirty. Let's get your hands in. Start mixing it around. Take this other piece of chicken and get right in there. All right, let's clean up our hands. We'll just wash these off. Now we're gonna stick this in the fridge to marinate, preferably overnight, but if you're in a real crunch, 4 to 6 hours. Here's some chicken that I marinated last night. I'm just gonna grab a baking tray, a pair of tongs. Now what you wanna do is you wanna take this chicken out and lay it on top of this baking tray like this. So straighten this out. I'm gonna stick this into a 425-degree oven until it's blistered and browned and almost cooked, about 90% of the way. Should take anywhere between 15 and 20 minutes. So now let's get started on our amazing chicken tikka sauce. So I have a large pan here. Let's get this burner on. And you want it on about medium-ish heat. And I'm gonna put in some ghee. I'm gonna add in a little splash of just regular canola oil, something neutral. So while that is heating up, let's get some ginger grated. I'm just gonna pre-grate some. So you want a decent amount of ginger. And you can see that because my ginger has been frozen, it's kind of peeling itself, which makes it really simple. Easy to grate, like right now, and easy to clean up. Never have to peel it. Just off to the side. So let's remove it from the paper. And again, just put your body weight down and it'll peel itself. Look how easy that is. I'm just gonna slice this garlic while our ghee is getting hot. Now you can also chop it, whatever's simplest for you. And that's going to be the second infusion of flavor we're going to add into our tikka sauce. First of all, start blooming some of our spices, and that will incorporate a first layer of flavor into the ghee. So I got some cumin seeds, about 2 teaspoons, and I'm actually going to add in 1 teaspoon of whole coriander seeds. Let's give this a nice stir. It only takes about 10 or 15 seconds to get them going. Now let's get our garlic and ginger in. Smells just so good. Now let's move on to some tomato paste. And it's important to add tomato paste at the very beginning of cooking so you can kind of cook out some of the rawness from it. So let's give it a good mix up. While that's in there, I'm going to add some sugar for a bit of sweetness. Tomato paste has a tendency to be a little bit sour and tart, so that kind of helps that. And the sugar will go in there and that will slowly start to caramelize. Let's throw in some salt. Now let's add in some pureed tomatoes. Let's put this here. Turn the heat down a smidge. Let's stick the lid on and let it cook for 15 minutes. So now we're gonna add in some garam masala. So let's mix this up. So here I have some cashew butter. We're gonna add it in here. And what we wanna do is we wanna make sure that this cashew butter has been fully incorporated in. That's good. Now let's add in some coconut milk. So that's gonna go inside. And then obviously, because it's chicken tikka sauce and I just alluded to it, we need some heavy cream. So let's add in some of these. I've got a good teaspoon in right there, and let's add another half. So we got 1.5 teaspoons of fenugreek leaves. So here's some cilantro. Okay, so let's give this a quick mix up. I'm gonna add a little bit more red chili flakes for a last little bit of kick. Awesome. Now let's add in our chicken. So all this beautiful chicken goes in. We're gonna bring the sauce up to temperature, and the chicken will finish inside this delicious sauce. Serve it up, might as well go really classic. Copper pots. Oh, creamy, silky, incredibly decadent. Oh, I cannot wait to get my naan into this. Look at that. Beautiful chunks of chicken, delicious sauce. Oh. Oh. Garnish with some cilantro on top. That's it. That is the best of British Indian cuisine. Andrew, let's get on a plane to London.
Okay.
You in?
Yeah, I'm totally in.
All right.
Yeah.
What are the first things you think of when you think of amazing British pub fare?
I think of fish and chips.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
You really can't beat like those corner chippies.
Yeah,
those
yeah,
are
yeah,
awesome.
Yeah.
What about bangers and mash?
Bangers and mash is a classic, but I think the one I'm gonna go for is shepherd's pie.
Oh, shepherd's pie. That's a good one. Why don't we make shepherd's pie, but with an Indian twist?
Okay, you had me at shepherd's pie. Indian twist made it better. I'm in.
You're in?
Yeah.
Okay, let's get ready to rock. First of all, I'm gonna get this skillet on. It's a pretty large one, on really high heat. Okay, I'm gonna get a smaller pan on, also on really high heat, because I want to get some butter in the pan.
Okay.
So we can get it melted.
Okay.
And also grab some milk. While this is heating, I'm gonna get you to pick some herbs.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is some sage. So pick all these off the stem, use everything. And then this is some rosemary. And how you pick this is you just pull back on the stalk.
Oh, wow.
Genius, eh?
Holy
Feeling it?
Yeah.
So maybe for the rosemary, I'd probably just use those two because it can quickly overpower a dish.
Okay.
And then I use all that sage. Might as well, right?
Yeah.
So in our hot pan, I'm gonna add in some olive oil. There we go, you want a decent amount. And I'm just gonna start sauteing up some onion. So this is just diced. I'm using red onion because it's a bit sweeter. And then some celery. So I'm gonna season this with some salt.
Yeah.
And the salt will slowly start to help draw out some of the moisture.
Okay.
In these veg. I'm gonna add in some garam masala, a teaspoon and a half. Around there. Let's give this a nice mix up. Andrew, why don't you chop up those herbs?
Okay.
I'm gonna give this a stir, and let me check on your milk. So you can see it's coming to a boil here. Butter's almost melted. So let's make a swap.
A swap?
Swap.
Okay.
I'm gonna take those herbs and you take this.
Okay.
Now what I want you to do is I want you to grate in some nutmeg
Some nutmeg.
into this hot milk. Keep going. You want about a quarter teaspoon. Which is
enough?
cool. That's enough, yeah.
Okay.
Good job. Looks excellent.
Yeah.
Now, Andrew, what I want you to do is add some green chutney into this milk and butter mixture. There you are. Add the entire thing in. So it's a combination of like mint, cilantro, jalapeno, some garlic, lemon juice, lime juice. Let's also season it with a bit of salt. Okay, Andrew, that's looking really nice and mixed.
Okay.
So why don't we add this mixture into our boiled potatoes. They've just been peeled, and we're gonna add some cauliflower into it.
Oh.
And this will bring in another little layer of a flavor and another Indian twist to it. And mashed cauliflower is really delicious. So let's just add it all in.
Okay.
I think you can handle it, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Now you're talking. Smells amazing, no?
Yeah.
I'm gonna add these herbs into this.
So I'm taking this here.
Yep. Get your potato masher.
I got a potato masher.
Yeah, and give it the gusto.
Okay.
You kind of want like a bit of a rustic mash, so you want to get right in there.
Yeah.
Boom. I'm gonna get some garlic in this pan. 1 clove of garlic in.
Oh, wow.
And keep going.
Oh, wow.
How many garlic cloves you want?
As many as you think should go in there? 4.
4?
Is that too many?
No, hey. There's no such thing as too much garlic in my world. Okay, now how can we make this any better?
I think we need a little bit of meat in there, right?
Actually, why don't you pass it to me? It's over on your side. This is looking amazing.
Yeah, what's this?
This is some ground lamb.
Oh.
So get it in this pan, and you really want to get it browned up. So you can see now like this lamb has been browned pretty nicely.
Yeah.
So why don't you toss me those tomatoes?
Okay.
Let's get those right in here. So these are just some chopped tomatoes. Juice and everything.
Ooh.
Right in. Let's get some stock. So let's get some chicken stock in. Now you don't want all of it.
Okay.
So why don't you add half of that?
Okay, so it's 2 cups. I'm going to 1 cup.
Yeah, add 1 cup. And let's see where we're at. Maybe it's a bit under?
Yeah.
That's okay. That's okay. If we need to add some more liquid, we can. So Andrew, we've had this cooking for what? 10, 12 minutes?
Yeah.
Let's get this off. Now let's get a big baking dish. This is something we're gonna just serve right into it.
Okay.
Let's grab this pan. Dump it right in. Now why don't you add all of this mash mixture
Okay.
onto the top of this. Why don't I hold this?
Yeah.
And you scrape down.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's already smelling incredible. Now that you add this mash on.
Yeah, with the spices, right?
Yeah.
I can't wait for the kick again.
And then when you think about it, it's like you've got a whole bunch of different layers of flavor. Like they're seasoned completely differently.
Yeah, they are.
And they're gonna work so well together. Yeah, so like just let's get everything in. Potatoes in here. Now I'm gonna add a little bit of toasted coconut on top.
Toasted coconut?
Yeah,
Where'd this come from?
just a little bit of extra crunch. There we go. And it's gonna toast a little bit more in the oven. That's probably good, hey? Let's toss it inside the oven.
Okay.
400 degrees.
Okay.
10 minutes.
Aman, this looks amazing. I can't believe we made this.
We did this together. It was so simple.
Yeah, this is fantastic.
Let's go tuck in to some Indian-inspired shepherd's pie. Walking into a house where the entire place is filled with the aroma of freshly baked bread can never be beat. And in my opinion, one of the best breads to bake is naan bread. But naan bread, you say, how do I make that at home? Well, normally it's made in a tandoori oven and it's slap it inside. Nobody's got that at home. So what are we gonna do? We're gonna make skillet naan. So simple to make. Let's get started on the dough. Here we have 2 cups of all-purpose flour. Here we have 1 1/4 cups of thick Greek yogurt. And this is gonna add some suppleness to the dough. I'm a big fan of the Greek yogurt. 1 1/2 tablespoons of canola oil. It's gonna go inside. 1/2 teaspoon of sugar for some sweetness. 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder. And another 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And then 1 large egg. That goes in. So let's get this in. Turn it on low to start, and everything will slowly start to come together. Then as that initial part starts incorporating, then turn up the mixer to medium. And this takes about 2 minutes or so, and everything will pull away from the sides of the bowl and will be really soft to touch. This looks great. Take this out. Yeah, really nice. So now what we're gonna do is stick it into a lightly greased bowl. I'm just using some olive oil, but any neutral oil is good. Brush it inside. And then push our dough around in it. There we go. And let's cover this up. Now, you gotta make sure that this is actually touching the ball of dough, or you'll form this like really disgusting skin on top of it. Now let this rest at room temperature for about 4 hours. And I have a skillet on, medium-high heat. You want it to be pretty hot because you want to try and replicate what would be a tandoori oven. So let's pull this out and let's divide this dough up. So let's divide it in half, and then let's divide it into quarters. And then let's do that quarter into half again. So let's just keep them in our bowl. Now let's try and keep this pretty classic, and let's do the pretty traditional teardrop shape. So let's push it down on our board, and then you start pulling it straight. Okay, so that's ready to go. So let's take this out, put it into our skillet. You can already hear it start to sizzle. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna cover it, and that's gonna lock in some steam, and that steam will help cook the naan thoroughly. So on the first side, take about 3 to 4 minutes, and we're gonna flip it over. It'll take another 1 to 2 minutes. Let's check on the very last naan. Oh yeah, look at this. Amazing. Oh, look at all this herb butter on here. Get it all in there, don't waste anything. Let's get this side buttered up. Skillet naan slathered with herb and garlic butter to dip into your chicken tikka masala. I'm not even waiting. Digging right in. Oh. Three examples of British Raj cuisine are warm and chewy naan, super comforting tikka masala, and stick to your ribs shepherd's pie. When you take a bite of chicken tikka masala, you get a rich gravy, you get nuttiness from that coconut milk, and you get that charred tandoori flavor from the chicken. The flavors of Indian shepherd's pie are bright and bold. I kind of liken to my shepherd's pie experience as having samosa filling with mashed potatoes on top. When you take your first bite of the naan, you get that crispy bottom, and then you get like that herb and garlic butter. Oh, I'm telling you, you'll never go back to store-bought naan. British Raj has literally taken over the UK to the point where now it's a national cuisine, and it's really special to have the cuisine of India showcased at such a high level.